What in the Habitat for Humanity is going on here? Hello, people of the internet. Today I'm gonna do some more work on the Ranger restoration project. If you're new and you'd like to get caught up on this project, up above my head is not a link to that project, but a cautionary tale of why you should never mix your hummingbird feeder with laxatives. Do you see the video where they put laxatives in some seagulls' food and they throw it on the beach?
Yeah, I've seen that before. And this is shitting everywhere.
I have a special guest with me today because Liz just drove here from Vegas. Well, she stopped in Scottsdale, but she rented a convertible Mustang and just drove through the desert Southwest, which is, I kind of envy that. Game plan for this video, I need to get this transmission together and in the truck, because once I do that, I can put the drive shafts in, I can put the exhaust in, I can put all kinds of stuff into the truck. Now I got this bracket off, there's still some of this crusty nonsense that the acid just was struggling to get rid of, and it's really hard to see it because when it's wet, this stuff just disappears, so I couldn't really see where I was scrubbing with the muriatic acid. But these brass brushes, I've realized, are hard enough to take this stuff off, but not hard enough to leave marks on the aluminum casing. The problem is they wear out too fast. That would really suck if you brushed your teeth with this. I know no one is gonna see this, and it's probably a waste of time, but I can't help it. I put this much work into this thing, I want it to look good. A la braquette, je m'appelle la braquette. A la braquette, je m'appelle.
Hi. What's this?
Is that what you're dealing with?
Yeah.
Ta-da! Junkyard score. The outer jacket on these wires for the transfer case control solenoid, I think that's what it's called, are all deteriorating, so I'm gonna snip it. Unfortunately, the zinc coating on this transfer case solenoid, the Borg-Warner transfer case, is starting to wear, so I was trying to preserve it. I'm just gonna clean it. What are you doing?
I'm trying to make a TikTok.
I don't know how to TikTok.
I'm trying to find the one that's like Material Girl with the giant Shrek. What is that? Oh,
It's for the transfer case. I have to clean it.
it's very dirty. Why did you give it to me? Oh my god, it's on my fingers, dude. Ah.
That's what she said.
Ew.
Here's Liz's rental Mustang. It's the 2.3 EcoBoost, but that color is, yep. You have a hole in your ass.
Do I?
It's grabber yellow. That's the name of that color. Love grabber yellow.
Oh my god, I do.
One of the unfortunate downsides of zinc coating, especially when it gets to this age, is it's very sensitive to any kind of cleaner or harsh chemical. It'll wear away the coating super fast. This was coming off with just using Dawn dish soap as a degreaser. It's all right on this bracket, but you can see over here where the hard grease was stuck to it, it wore off. It was very delicate, so I couldn't save it. Regardless of fact though, it looks 10 times better than the current stuff that's on the transfer case. This stuff smells like absolute death and you don't want to breathe it in. So I need to do it by the door where I got a fresh breeze. The thing I love about this POR is that it self-levels. Not sponsored, FYI, but I just want to really put it out there. You can use a brush and it evens itself out. It doesn't leave brush marks. Well, this escalated slightly. I had to take apart the junkyard transfer case that I bought for 50 bucks. It's also the following day. I kind of screwed off a little bit yesterday because Liz was here visiting just for the day. This morning I got the transmission and transfer case separated so I could fix these two broke off bolts that were in there. So I'm gonna steal this piece off the other case because this has no broken bolts in it and I can just swap it onto the other one. do I suck at shapes? I screwed up and accidentally deleted the clip of changing out the faceplate on the transfer case. Sorry. Sometimes I forget how to do my job. I've been really bad about filming today. I've been doing nothing but cleaning stupid parts, and it's just boring to try to film. So now I can start doing the fun stuff. I'm gonna put the transmission in the truck. All right. Use this guy. Ugh, I didn't even eat lunch today. I just skipped lunch because there was so much work to do. But I got it all done. Now that I got that up in the air, I can put the rest of the accoutrements on the transmission. All brand new Luke components. Yeah. Loctite, that's why. Alright. There we go. Oh, look at that rat's nest. This clutch dust might have been from me 20 years ago. That seal is mint. It wasn't leaking at all. Same thing with the bearing retainer case cover. There's no signs of that leaking whatsoever. There's a potential I could open up a massive can of worms if I were to take off that bearing retainer cover, and if that shaft starts to come out with it, I could lose all these needle bearings that are inside here, which would be an absolute nightmare to have to deal with. So this is one of those opportunities where it seems like it's easy because you have it all apart, you can just replace the gasket while you're at it. But if it's not leaking and you tear that apart, you could end up causing it to fail prematurely, thinking you were doing a good thing by changing that gasket. I've seen that happen more times. So I was in the Air Force than I can even count, of changing gaskets and O-rings and seals that didn't need to be changed, but you thought, well, I'm at it, I might as well do it. And then it goes and fails a couple months later. So I'm gonna save my kit that I have. If it starts leaking in the future, I have a shop, I can just pull out my transmission again and I'll replace the seals. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and put in my new underpaid employee cylinder and more Loctite. It's not like I use this as a daily driver and it's gonna get a ton of miles on it. It'll probably end up being another 10 years until that seal ends up going out on it. These guys are 19 to 26 Fig Newtons. Yes, my pump handle is yellow. No, it does not go to this crane. A freshly powder coated transmission cross member. Look at the truck real quick and see which way that goes. I can see right here. See those 3 holes? That means the plate went up on this side of it. I just discovered I have a really stupid problem. I do not have hardware for the transmission cross member because my parts truck didn't have the cross member when I got it, and the hardware that was on my Gramps truck was rusted and destroyed. The only thing that I have is that guy, but this goes to something else. So I literally cannot put the transmission in right now because I don't have the correct hardware. I mean, I could just stick some random bolts in there, but let's be honest, I don't do that kind of shit. And I'm back. Have to get some bolts. Look at this, travel all. That is cool. It's the next day, and I'm back at the junkyard, but the Ranger that I needed the bolts from is gone. There's so many new different vehicles here, and it's literally only been a couple days since last time I was here. I mean, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing, because I needed the bolts off that truck, because it was a manual transmission 4x4. What do we got here? This is too new of a truck. It's going to have a different cross member. It has to be a 93 to 97. All these trucks I'm finding are automatics, so the cross member is different, but I think these bolts on this side should be the same. There should be 2 bolts that are attached to a strap. So I don't know, we'll see.
This floater has what you need.
It does?
Yeah.
Is it a manual?
No, it's an auto, but it's got the correct bolts.
2 of the bolts, they're supposed to have a strap attaching them, and these don't.
Yeah, so those aren't the same, I don't think. If you look over here, it has like the studs and the nuts.
Yeah, and these are all, that one's struck completely. I got all of the hardware that I need. I'm just doing a quick walk around looking at the new cars that are here, and look what I found. It is a mostly complete Contour SVT. And I already went through and looked at it. It is a real SVT. It's not someone just threw badges on a regular Contour. The seats are in it still. They're kind of torn, ripped up. But the engine's mostly complete also. That's so crazy because these are not common cars. To see one of these in the junkyard. There you go. That is the hardware I need to complete this. I just gave these things a bath in the sink and scrubbed them with a brush. Now I'm gonna rinse them with some brake clean, take the paint off the floor while I'm at it. This is the last pain in the ass part of this restoration. This transmission sat in that corner for like 6 months and I just dreaded it every time I saw it because it was covered in barnacles and I just didn't know what to do about it. And now it's done. Now everything is reassembly. Yeah, this is gonna kinda suck. Kinda sorta. Take my alignment tool out of the clutch. Man, this is so much easier than doing it from underneath the truck. If only you could just take the cab off every time you had to do a clutch. There you go. Get some bolts started in here. More bolts. Transmission's in. Hell yeah. Done. Hooray for overkill. Use this hoist to pick up the transfer case. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without hurting myself. Haha! It worked! There we go. That should be enough to get bolts into it. What in the Habitat for Humanity is going on here? This thing's stuck. I still gotta buy the cats for this thing, so I can't put the rest of the exhaust on just yet, but I can get this part done. And that way I can see how much distance I'll have for the cat, so I can know what cat to buy for this thing. Now, ugh, come off. Well, this doesn't fit worth a shit. That's why. That'll make a huge difference. Here's one. I really hope this thing isn't loud. If it is, I'll have to add a resonator somewhere in the middle of the exhaust. I want this to sound like stock. Even though I'm putting headers on it, I want it to sound like stock. There. Mission complete. It's in. The exhaust manifolds are done, and aside from the fluids, which I'm going to do at the same time as the engine oil and the rear diff, probably in the next video, and the pack that goes in the back here, the reason why I didn't put it on is because the drain plug for the transfer case is behind it, which is a stupid location. But I'm going to call that a success. It's all done. I'm just waiting on the cab now. And Fred should be shooting it with paint next week. He had to do an extra process with some acid etching in the bay to make sure there was zero potential for the corrosion that was there to ever come back. He stripped it all down to the bare metal. So once I get the cab back over here, Then I can just put the rest of the pieces on. On the other side of the MR2, you notice there's a massive box. Don't mind the trash and a heat gun. That could be used to start a campfire. It's not going to be used though. That's for the Bronco. So I got some Bronco content coming. And also the Quattro. I have some parts that were being fabricated for it. It took a little bit longer than I anticipated. And I also got the wheels back from powder coating. So I'll probably do a video on the Quattro coming up here pretty soon. And then once the paint job is done in the engine bay, I can get back to work on the Ranger. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon with another. Bye.